Welcome everybody to our meeting today. We are going to talk a little bit about how to handle parenthood and an MBA. I'm a bit nostalgic, I have to say, because all this preparation brings me back to 3 years ago when I first started thinking about whether I should do this MBA program with the ESMT beside work or not. And here we are now. It's finished. I did not regret it. So let's all share some ideas about why we did it and how we did it. In the first step, I'd like to ask everyone to introduce themselves and give us a little bit of a background about their family situation. Tessa, would you like to go first?
Of course, yeah. I'm a proud mom of one. She is turning 1 this month, and I did start my executive MBA studies before I had my daughter. So I did have my daughter during these studies. Otherwise, I worked for Mercedes in the HR and tech organization. So I'm currently trying to balance studies, which will also be finishing in April, work and family life.
Wow, that's next level, I think. Ruth.
Well, the others are in the same situation, and so are many others. So yeah,
I think having a baby during the courses, yeah, that's maybe a little bit harder than just going with the flow of already having kids. Ruth, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. No, and all the credits, Tessa. I think what you did is absolutely incredible. My name is Ruth. I am 42. I am working in Switzerland for Siemens as a VP for service business. I'm a very proud dad of 3 boys. The oldest one is 9, and then we have twins. They are 6.
Exciting. Daniel, please.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Daniel van Dreumel. I work as a head of IT enterprise applications in a medical service provider. I have 2 beautiful girls, 6 and 8, and they were 4 and 6 while I did the MBA. So I must also give all credits to Tessa because I think with a 1-year-old, oh my God, I would never ever make that.
I agree. And I have 2 boys. They are now 6 and 11, so they were 9 and 4 when I started. And yeah, listening to you guys, maybe that's one of the easiest situations because one of them was already fairly old. Of course, for the 4-year-old, this was still, I'd say, a hard 2 years, I think. But let's talk a little bit about, did you have questions or doubts before you started, before you even applied to the program, or you knew that having children won't change your mind about applying or not? Was there any question marks? I mean, Tessa, I presume you thought that you might have the baby during the program.
Yes, for me, it was a question because we were talking about whether it is the right time to start a family or not. And obviously, you never know, where the situation will take you. But I did have great support from my work, just because this what I'm doing right now is also bundled with my work. And I did have a manager saying, you never know where life will take you. And if don't question it right now, see where it will take you, and then you'll make it work. And this is something that has helped me throughout my life to just take it as it comes and make the best of it, and believe in what you yourself and your network and your support is capable of. And that has helped me to go through with it. But yes, in the beginning, I was questioning it. Is it the right time to at least think about all of it together? But it turned out that if you put your mind to it, and if you have the right support, without the support, if you have the right support, it's possible.
And Ruth, Daniel, how did you experience the time before you applied?
Yeah, so I think when I had an idea to do an MBA, of course you share that with your partner, and but I think when you're really making that big decision, I feel it's important with the decision to make your partner aware of what is coming. So and as I'm a little bit of a planner, I also then foresee some workload is coming on her shoulders, and I think that's for me very important to talk about with your partner, that you both align on that while making the decision. So when you come late in the year, when it becomes very difficult, that somehow you can also talk better about giving each other support. So from that point of view, it was in a way also a decision you make as a family and not only by yourself.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah. So indeed, the decision itself, you try also to plan that when is the right time to start an MBA. I was thinking about that for a couple of years, and there was always a reason not to do it. And yeah, I mean, I got into a global position, and I said, okay, let me try to get my arms around it, maybe in 2 or 3 years, and then that would be the right time to start an MBA. I did that, and the plan was also then to stay in that position at least for the 2 years that I was doing it. But I changed position while I was doing MBA. So this is a good example of you can never plan it, and it's never the right timing just to do it. You just need to do it. And I 100% agree with Danielle and Tessa that you are making that decision together. We talked about that a lot. Me and my wife, we even involved the kids with that and saying, well, Daddy wants to go back to school. This is on top of work. This is on top of a lot of travels that I already do for work. And you feel so guilty because the kids deserve 100% your attention, and there's even more time that you need to spend behind your computer, or you're away for the residencies, traveling even more. So it is a cautious decision that you need to make, and all the credits in this case to my wife, because she gave me the ultimate push and said, ultimately, just do it. I will support you. We also asked support from even family in law, so from her parents, that said, yeah, we can come more often to your place. That when you're traveling again, or when you're having these residencies and need to leave even in the weekends, we can step in, we can support, give the attention to the kids, at least try to compensate it a little bit. So it is a family decision, and you need to be aware of the time contribution that you need to make. Nevertheless, still, if I asked today my wife, did you regret this decision, or did you regret the final push that you gave me to do it? And she says, no, I did not, and I'm very happy that it's almost over. So it's kind of the situation in our house, at least. Yeah.
So you guys are still in the program, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Yeah. So Daniel and I have already finished. So I think that helps our partners too tremendously. I remember that during the course, my husband told me that when people called me whether they should do a program or not, he always said that they should talk to him. But I think looking back, he also now thinks that it was worth it, but it was not easy, 100%. And you need to have the buy-in from your partner and from your family. I really admire asking the children to. This I did not do, but I think that's a very nice way of approaching the topic for sure.
Yeah, well, it also shows kind of the thing that you are trying to do. It's not to give a good example; they are too small for that. But they are very interested in that, and so they are asking me questions about how that is going, and if it's similar as their school. So is there actually a teacher, and how does it work, and all that kind of stuff. You make them just aware of the process and what you are dealing with. Also taking exams, that's new for them, so they have no idea what an exam is, why people are doing that kind of stuff. So just to onboard them and explain them why you are not present in a couple of these moments in the weekends, I think helps. At least for myself, it feels you a little bit less guilty. And they are looking very forward. They will join me in Berlin for the graduation next week, and they are very looking forward also to see the school, and they would like to have a tour in the school. They would like to see the classrooms and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so they are very curious actually in what Daddy was doing in the last years. So this is,
I can absolutely see that. Yeah. So, and I think these are the things that should keep everyone, you know, sane and motivated during the course, that this is for a very certain period of time, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. But maybe we can talk a bit about challenges and how we have overcome them. But I know that there are a lot of current students in the audience. So if you have tips from your side or questions, now it's already a time to ask them in the chat. We have Agi with us from ESMT, and she will moderate the questions, but she will also answer any questions that are related to the course itself. So for the biggest challenges, we have very much touched on the support systems, right? Partner, family. Is there anything that you would like to add here? How did you experience the support from ESMT itself as parents? Just anybody who...
I can maybe start on that. I know this is different for everyone depending on where they are in their life and their family situation. But I just had the best support in terms of our baby being really small for some of the residencies, etc. And the ESMT, and as well as my partner and my mom and everyone who helped out with that, just came together to really make it work. So in terms of can the partner or the baby come with to certain events, can they, you know, stay separately but be close, etc. What would be options to if I had to miss, you know, a single class or something, what would be option to rework it, etc. And it was the family support, the work support, but also from the ESMT, just to make that work and help find other solutions if the proposed one wasn't feasible. And it was always very quick, very easy, very hands-on, which helped me to not, you know, get stressed about it, but to just work towards that solution. And it was just great.
For me, the biggest supportive factor was the methodology and how they are structuring the executive MBA. So I did a lot of research on which MBA could offer me a certain structure and methodology that allows me to do this live work and study integration. And a lot of there is a lot out there, right? So there's many different schools are offering MBAs. A full-time one for me is completely unrealistic. The one that you are supposed to do completely online is also unrealistic for me. The one in Zurich, close to where I live, was offering modules only in the weekends, which is also very challenging then for life. So the fact that the executive MBA is structured in a way that you have these 10 residencies of 6 days blocked in your calendar, you know exactly when it takes place, you know exactly the location of that, and that allows you just to plan in a way that it works. So you know exactly when you are present, you know exactly when you are supposed to be on site. You can also close yourself, at least for how much that is possible, from all the other topics, and just focus yourself on getting the education during these 6 days. So that methodology for me worked actually very well. So the way how they offered that program for me was the reason why I chose for the ESMT in Berlin.
And this actually ties into a question that we have received. How important is the logistic aspect? Meaning, would you recommend to study in the same city you live or work? And as we heard, you didn't choose the program in Zurich. I am from Hanover, and I commuted to Berlin. Daniel, the same with you. Tessa, you are
from Stuttgart.
Yeah. So I have to say, from my point of view, it was even nicer because if I had been studying in the same city, in the evenings I would have gone home to my family, and this way we socialized. So it's absolutely doable within Germany, but also within Europe. And we even had some classmates who traveled from outside of Europe for these residencies. As Ruth said, these are very scheduled times, you know.
Yeah.
Already from
We have a very international class test for people from the US to Australia to the Middle East. I mean, this is time zone wise, if you do online studies, is very challenging. But the fact that they were supposed to be in Berlin on Monday morning, 8:30, okay, guys, this is just what it is. So the fact how they just make these blockers 10 times for 6 days allows you just to dedicate your time accordingly. So that for me was the game changer in combining and integrating work, life, and study.
Exactly. There's another question. Did you consider reducing your workload, for example, to 80% to make more time for family if your job permits? I can say that my job I would not have liked to reduce my workload because I felt that it was a very important time for us at work also. But I don't know if you have maybe considered this, guys.
Yeah, maybe this one for me. I mean, I didn't. I mean, I did consider it, but I also thought, okay, find a way to make it work. I think in Germany, if you're working in Germany and your employer is open for it, there are also all kinds of arrangements to pick a study holiday. So that's something I also took a benefit of, and and I think as I was planning to do the MBA, something what you can do is also start saving up some holidays, and if you can bring them to the next year, was to me also a way of, if needed, to bring some additional time to study. And with that, I thought, okay, I will. I think, like Ruud said in the beginning, I mean, we're going to say yes to the MBA, and we're going to just figure this out as we're going. But then at least you have some leverage and some benefit to play with time. And as time is the important commodity, it gives us some flexibility.
And I think the same way you want your buy-in from your partner, you also want your buy-in from your employer, right? And they also know it's it's somewhat of a sacrifice also from their side. So to keep everyone happy, you have to see, is reducing your time the best strategy here? I don't know. Everyone has to maybe see it from themselves. Okay, we have 9 minutes left. Sorry.
No, it's perfect stakeholder management here. So
exactly. We're gonna finish sharply on time because everybody has, I think, some upcoming meetings. Some things from our list that we planned to touch on were life hacks. So did you find anything that was particularly helpful during your studies that you didn't think, that even surprised you maybe, that this was working and not other things? Any games, tools, or apps? Or did anything, help you? Did anything special help you through this time? What are the secrets that we now can share with the people? Or are there no secrets? And is it just really going with the flow?
For me, it's really no-brainers. I had no games or tricks or whatever kind of stuff, but the planner is your biggest friend in this during these years. So you even need to more challenge yourself in really do long-term planning. You need to know upfront exactly when are these residencies, when are your deadlines, when are important meetings that you need to schedule. When you need to be there as well for kids situations, when you need to be there. So you're going to challenge just all the people around you about making things transparent way up front. And some of the people, they kind of like that. Some of the people get nervous about that, and they're saying, but if you explain it and saying, well, listen, this is just what it is right now. I'm doing this on top. Then they have, in most of the cases, they understand it and they are supporting you in that. So it has all to do with, communicating it with your most important stakeholders privately and business wise, and making a long-term planning, week over week over week, month over month over month. This is really that would allow you to combine all the stuff together.
Yeah, and I think maybe this is also something that helps you even after you have finished, right? So I find that I have a tremendous amount of time now for things that I would have never thought I would. And maybe I would have never gotten to this level without doing the MBA.
The other tip that I would like to share is also a new terminology that we also use in Siemens. People were talking about work-life balance. I think that's outdated. I'm talking rather about integration, and it's literally it's work, life, and study integration. So you can make the blockers are not just day by day or week per week. There are days, almost every day, that I'm combining all three. So there's a blocker to, you know, spend some time with kids. Maybe you can bring them to school just in the morning to have a touch point with them, and then afterwards you do your work. And once the, you know, kids go to bed, you make another 2-hour blocker to do some study. It needs to fit together. So it's not only about balance, which normally people are talking about. It's really how are you able to integrate that. And the fact that we are working also more from home office, I think, gives us also certain flexibility that allows you to do that more. And this integration is easier now that we are also not supposed to be in the office 5 days a week. So that for me was the kind of trick that helped me through this.
And just adding on to this, I know it's easier said than done, or not easier said than done, but it's also the network and the colleagues you have in your EMBA or MBA class, because especially for the group works, it's a give and take. So if you do have, you know, a deadline for work and you cannot participate as much this time, then you will take the lead next time. And this has really helped me that in the studies, there is, yes, a big part that you need to do on yourself, where you need to be present, etc. But there are also parts that you can distribute and see who can pitch in where and when, and that helped a lot.
Maybe in both Ruud and Tessa, an additional thing is probably also discipline. I think a lot of people tend to wait until the very last minute to submit assignments, but I think when you do an MBA, you're in this 13-week cycle, and when having kids and a family, it's not something you can wait to the very last minute, because as a family, you know that something is going to happen in your family, and you better be a little bit more disciplined, or maybe even stay a little bit ahead of the game in terms of assignments and submissions. Then you always be fine by the end of a cycle. So from that point of view, there's also something, I think, to the team you're working with. They also see that in the beginning of a cycle you put a lot of effort in, so they know they can count on you. But then the other hand, you build up some loyalty and also some backup plan, that so if things will not happen, not something great happen to your family in terms of a kid gets sick or something else, then they can step in for you. From that point of view, you create that kind of team collaboration.
And working together with people who are, you know, potentially a decade younger than us without children, I think that can be a little bit tricky at the beginning. Maybe in the EMBA that doesn't happen that often, but in our first study group, I was the oldest and the only one with kids. That was a little bit difficult to balance. Okay, I don't want to be working at the same time when you guys want to, because at that time I'm with my kids. And then I think our last study group was a special one where everybody had 2 children, I believe. And somehow that felt like a much more well-oiled machine. So I think this is also something that you have to figure out at the beginning of a group formation, and set the expectations from each side, for sure. How about quickly something about mental load and stress? Did you find it? And then we can come to the closing sentences, but I think stress management is also just as important as time management. Did you find anything that was more helpful than before you started the MBA? I think, Daniel, maybe you might have some idea here, or no?
No, yeah, for me, there's absolutely a correlation between time management and stress management.
Okay.
So the moment I am a little ahead of the game, I know I'm less stressed. So from that point of view, I figured out that discipline was really required for me to stay ahead, and I felt more relaxed, and I could also bring in more thought into the assignments.
And I would say keep exercising. Yeah, so this is an easy thing to kind of downgrade. If you need to prioritize other stuff, it's easy just to skip the exercising or the sports or whatever you are doing. Yeah, but this is absolutely crucial. Yeah, so this is something I've learned in the beginning. that for your stress, mental, but also for your physical condition, it's just crucial to do certain things. So I know it's tough, I know it's not easy, but try to make also some space in your agenda just to continue doing some exercises once in a while. Otherwise you will face some other challenges there. So that was definitely the way how I kept that under control, that stress level.
And just adding on to that again, also expectation management. I mean, each of us only has 100% capacity, emotional availability, etc. And often we say, I give 120% there, I give 100%, 20% here. No, we just each have 100%. So, sometimes it's good to do 80-20, where can you adapt? And I think it's expectation management towards others, but mostly towards yourself, that you need to deal with. That has helped me to deal with potential stressors that could arise.
Which I find very nice and useful. Even if you don't feel that you're doing great, it's probably just good enough. Okay, then let's come to our closing sentences. So looking back in the past few months for you guys and in the past few years for Daniel and me, what are the final advice that we're giving here for people who are either still on the fence whether they should do this or not, or are currently in the middle of it and just trying to figure out how to balance things? Just one thought.
I want you to go first.
Maybe you, Ruud, if you...
I'm happy to do that, yeah. So I would say, prioritize, plan, but also not forget to enjoy the ride. An MBA is temporary, but the growth and the career impact are definitely lifelong.
Tessa?
Commit and then enjoy.
Great.
My
Daniel?
side, bring in some discipline and just jump and just do it.
Yeah, I also think that even if it seems scary, it's definitely doable. I think it's definitely worth it. Okay, if you have any more questions, I think feel free to contact us on LinkedIn maybe. Aggie is still here to answer any questions. The recording will be available, and yeah, good luck everybody.